Hi guys and welcome. This is Nick John Wick. This is another ghost guide, and this is a Kappa. The Kappa, aka the Waterboy, as described by the journal, it says the Kappa likes to attract its target in the environment where it's the most skilled. This seemingly calm entity can be dangerous near water. But what does that mean? In terms of the contract, you may find not entirely that the Kappa's favourite room is a bathroom or a kitchen, but that he does a lot of evidence near these rooms, or he seems to be trying to draw you in, to lure you, so to speak. What I must say though, if the entity's favourite room is a small room, yeah, good luck with that. The evidence that you need in order to identify the Kappa is the EMF5, drawing, fingerprints and voices. He is a high energy ghost that hunts late, that is pretty quick and is sensitive to the burning flash. He can't be interrupted, so once he gets going, he is going. In order to banish him, you have to craft copper, and with the new update you can get straight to that page just by clicking on the copper. That will take you to the crafting page. For the next portion of this lesson, we're actually going to head to a simulated environment. So pull your socks up guys and take note. We're going to watch some gameplay. Let's go. Alright guys, so this is a past game that I had against a Kappa that I actually thought might be pretty useful in our This is a Ghost guide. So welcome, class is in session. Now with a Kappa guys, something I do want to say is when identifying any entity, make sure if you're doing it in a behavioural sense that you have two behaviour traits that you know for one ghost or one entity. And more will be explained in a second. Now with this particular game, I already heard the water being turned on. And I know I did say right at the start, Kappa, Waterboy, we get it. But that doesn't mean that just because water has been run, that this will be a Kappa. The difference being, as you can see here, the Kappa actually gives you more of a chance to get an EMF5 when it switches water on. And trust me, it switches water on a lot more than any other entity. However, it's not the be all and end all when identifying it. In terms of identifying a Kappa without any evidence, you're looking at water activity in smaller rooms or rooms that are near water. And you're also looking at the start of the game to have a lot of evidence really quickly, or a lot of activity really quickly, as you can see here. Now I do still check for orbs and cursed objects, as it being any other game, still something that I want to cross off or add to my journal. As you can see, you can hear a lot of stuff happening, you can see a lot happening really quickly. And I do feel like that is quite indicative of the Kappa entity. Now the Kappa is dangerous near smaller rooms, and I do find that things such as fingerprints and drawing, I always seem to get them pretty early on. When we're looking for things like voices, they can come late for a Kappa, but there are ways to trigger that off, okay? So we have our distortion here. I want to be really sure that there is no orbs. Right, I still want to check. And the way that I'm going to do that is check on my normal night vision and then shove on the paranormal filter 507. And you can purchase that from the store. It has just been included in recent updates. And what that does in darker rooms, it makes it a little bit easier to see the orb, the cursed object, and when the entity's hunting. So you know, it can be quite useful. It is definitely worth it. I don't just check the entity's favourite room, I check the room beside it, because a lot of the time the orb can actually be along the line of the wall, or in another room, or outside completely. So the Kappa is sensitive to the burning flash, so if you ever have to do any challenges or quests, you can hit it off with a burning flash to reduce that activity a little bit. If you want a really fun and spicy game, if you're in the hunt and the Kappa is coming for you, why don't you place your ruin beside water? That might make it fun. Turn it off and on again and see what happens. Hello. We are currently testing what effect water has on the Kappa. So when the player uses water, What does that do to the entity? Does it increase activity? Does it trigger a hunt? Please let me know in the comments, what have you found with the Kappa and water? Have you found it makes it angrier? You can let me know. I have found myself that when dealing with a Kappa, if I turn water on and off, evidence starts happening and showing itself. So if you do have games where you are struggling to find that last piece of voices or anything like that, you may want... Hi, lost ghost. You may want to turn off and on the water.
Can you make a noise? Can you make a noise?
So in terms of photos, I really need the robot photo, guys. I'm sorry, I do apologise, but asking the entity to make a noise, as you can see there, also triggers off its voices, which tells us right away that it is a Kappa. Nice little addition to the update. We can actually go straight to the crafting page from the entity page just by clicking on that craft button. And we also have Mr. Bobby, the most famous person in the world, our little pet. He has been added to This Is a Ghost, and he tells us, like a little bit of a personal alarm basically. He'll tell us exactly where the entity is. We also have 12 photos, guys, so make sure you're taking pictures of the door, the switch, the drawing, Bobby going off. You're going to have to wait until he turns red for that, okay? But like everything else, I do like to double check everywhere that I'm not missing a very sneaky cursed object, because it has happened once too many times. But I do want to say the Kappa as an entity does like water, but he also likes electricity. So you might find that he turns the global activity meter off, or he switches the breaker off but he will not break it. I've not really seen that happen much. The evidence and activity has been so quick that I've not even had time to get the book. That is how receptive and reactive the Kappa is. And remember, with every interaction that you give, the entity has a chance of interacting back, okay? So with the new update and the new objects that can be moved, if you place them into a pile, you're increasing the chances of activity as well. So if you are getting a slow game, make sure you start touching things.
Can you make a noise?
You can touch me if you want. Anyway, let's go back to talking about the Kappa.
Can you make a noise?
So
Can you make a noise?
Thank you. The Kappa is dangerous in smaller rooms.
Can you make a noise?
It does tend to bring you to the smaller room, so therefore evidence is shown in these rooms. It's almost like he's trying to lure you. Does that make sense? So if you do find like you go into a house and all of a sudden there's a lot of evidence and you're being pulled into tiny little places, you might want to consider a Kappa straight away. If he starts using water and speaking to you, then yes, we're definitely onto a Kappa right there. So this entity died via mysterious causes. It's great, isn't it? And we can put that into our journal with our lovely new drop down menu, which I am a fan of. Absolutely awesome update that we have had. In terms of fighting the Kappa and banishing it, obviously you're going to have the correct behaviour type. If you are struggling with that behaviour type, make sure to check out my beginner's guides. Oh, now that was just rude. Come on. Do you know what? Nah. I don't even care. We're going to go fight him now. Don't worry guys, the video's nearly over. Anyway, in terms of banishment, you're going to want to use copper. If you are struggling with behaviour, let me know. We're going to actually fight him in this children's bedroom basically, because I'm in a false hope that if we do fight him here, there's a chance that the robot will go off and I finally get my picture. I don't understand why this is the hardest picture for me to unlock.
Can you make a noise?
It's actually annoying me now.
Can you make a noise?
Every time the robot goes off, I'm too far away. And so I'm making an effort to try and get that robot photo.
Can you make a noise?
I'm just hoping that he'll set it off, but you know, I'm never that lucky, let's be honest. So I'm under the belief that if I move things around about the thing that I want to go off for the photo, that it might actually make it go off, but again, it doesn't happen. Once again, you do know you've got the correct entity if it's spinning in its rune and it stays there. How do you know you've got the wrong one? Well, you get hit. The rune doesn't hold it, it just bites you. So we're going to do the last quest, which is to repel it with a shield. Trigger it a little bit by speaking to it. you know, as you do.
Attack me.
And as always, entity that likes to give away
Attack me.
evidence. So just in case you were missing those fingerprints, there it is again. Thanks. It's almost like he's mansplaining to me that he's a Kappa.
Can you make a noise? Can you make a noise?
Oh, God loves a trier, guys. I really
make a
need this
noise?
robot photo. I do
Can you make
apologise.
a noise?
Let's just hold it. Come on. Okay. Maybe in another contract. Now, the awesome thing about this update, we have more photos, which means we make more money. So let's go and celebrate banishing the entity. The little Bobby. Let's go. I am absolutely loving this update, guys. I hope you learned a little bit about the Kappa. Remember, do not just identify it through water alone. Make sure you've also got the behaviour trait that it's quick with evidence and activity. I really hope this helps you, and if it did, please let me know in the comments or subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.